You are now rocking with the queen, and it's time to get real.
What's up, it's your girl AB. It's another episode of 30, Flirty, and Thriving, TFT, and I am here today with Ced Handzup Management.
What's up? What's going on?
What's good? How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming. You just came from
Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah, so one of your artists was recording a show there?
Yeah, we Brooklyn Queen. You know, I work with her. I A&R her. She signed to B&B Entertainment. So yeah, we were down there working on a halftime performance.
So for those who don't know about you or what you do, you want to give a little synopsis of what it is that you do? I know you do a lot.
So Handzup Management is an artist management company. I also do A&R, like I said. So I mean, I was kind of been doing that off and on like my whole career. But with Handzup, you know, I manage Helluva, manage Neisha Neshae, Leslie, Cabo Hendrix, Dre Butterz.
Okay. So with the A&R, do you find the artists, then manage them?
No, I mean, sometimes it worked like that. So like with Kevo in particular, right? Me and for those who know MC Search, he actually launched his publishing company, Searchlight Publishing. Which funny story about that? Searchlight Publishing never existed before Jay-Z said it in Takeover.
Oh, okay.
So he actually launched it like after that. So I was working as A&R for Searchlight Publishing in a joint venture with BMG, and Kevo was a writer that I discovered.
How did you find him as a writer? Because, you know, sometimes it's easy to find artists and stuff, but how do you find a writer?
Actually, how did I find... Okay, so for those who know who King Chip is, he's from Cleveland. You know, he worked with Kid Cudi. So, you know, I was working with Bodie James and all that. So we would go out to LA a lot, working with Alchemist and Kid Cudi, his man Big Duke, all them from Cleveland. They was all out there. So Big Duke is a producer, and he was working at a studio where Kevo was at, and he kept telling me and Bodie about Kevo. Like, he's like, man, this is kid from the Midwest. He from the Midwest like us. You know, y'all got to meet him. So we went to the studio. We met him. Him and Bodie worked on some stuff. Because, I mean, he is an artist, too. Him and Bodie worked on some stuff. And then he got to playing me a lot of stuff that he was writing for other people and stuff. And, yeah, I just was impressed. So I went to Search and was like, yo, we got to sign this kid. And I've been with him for 8 years now.
Wow. Because you've been in the business for what, like 16 years?
17.
Okay. Wow. You originally started out as an artist, right?
No, I was never an artist. I dabbled in production, but I never had an aspiration to be an artist.
Okay. So how did you get into the business of music then?
When I was younger, I played in the band, and then I kind of stopped doing that because I got into sports. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't really do both.
So you playing in like the school band?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And I always just had this like love for music from my grandfather. My like biological father was actually like a DJ. So, you know, I just had like, and then my stepfather he wasn't in music, but he's like a big fan of music. So like music was just always around me, and it was something that I loved. But I didn't know it could be an actual career. Like I didn't know like it was realistic. So in high school, like I had these thoughts of like, I wish I could do that, but I didn't know how to do it. And then when I went to college on a football scholarship, I ended up getting hurt. And then that time of getting hurt, it kind of just was like, it just was like this burning desire, like, and I couldn't fight it anymore. It's like, I want to do it, so I'm going to figure out what I want to do. So like I said, I tried my hand in the production stuff. But as I got to looking into the business, I discovered Violator Management, which is Chris Lighty and Mona Scott. It's crazy. People don't know Mona Scott. Like the younger kids, they only know her for Love and Hip Hop. Like Mona was like one of the dopest managers ever. So when I discovered her and Chris Lighty and what they were doing, like, you know, they managed Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, LL Cool J.
So when you say you discovered them, how did you discover them? Because this, again, is 17 years old. It wasn't like Instagram was on.
Just reading and just seeing who doing what, and just kept hearing, like, you know, I'm the one, I'm like, read the liner notes in the record. So, you know, and I just kept seeing their name pop up. So, like, and I just, you know, start looking them up. So, yeah, that's how I discovered them. And I just I got very interested in what they were doing. And I was like, I think this is what I want to do.
So when you were in college, what were you studying? Anything music related?
No, it was just
business.
Yep. And then I actually ended up dropping out of college, and coming back home and I went to Specs Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I went to Specs Howard is because I tried to get an internship at the radio station at JLB. And when I went down there, they told me, it was like, well, you got to be in school or something to get an internship. So then I was like, I found out about Specs Howard. I was like, well, I'm going to go there because I want to get an intern at the radio station. Because I was like, well, if I work at the radio station, I can meet people. And you know what I'm saying? So that was like my train of thought. But it actually kind of worked.
Did you end up getting an internship?
I did.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
See, it's so funny because I have a similar story where when I was living up in Lansing, I got an internship at 96.5 up there. Yeah. And I was like, cool, I'm going to meet people. And they was like, yes, unpaid. And I was like, never mind.
No, it was cool. Like, I was cool with not getting paid. Like, you know, I had a job. Like, I worked at Best Buy. So I had a job. So I wasn't tripping on the money. Like, yeah. It was really, for me, like, when I started, it just was really about getting the experience. And like I said, I didn't know anybody at that point. So it was like, I just thought it was a way to meet people.
Well, the value was in the networking and the experience more so than the money. Yeah, I wish I had that mindset back then. I was just like, nah, it's conflicted with my money. Yeah. So
yeah, it was no sleep though, like, cause like I would work my job, intern, then start doing street team stuff. Like, so it was like them days. I think I probably got less sleep then than I do now, and I don't get no sleep now.
Yeah. So we started out doing production. And how was that? Like, did you feel like that was did you feel passionate about it, or you were just more passionate about the business aspect of music?
Once I discovered the business side, because when I was doing it, I just wanted to know how everything worked. So once I got to looking into how it worked, I just became so invested into that part of it that, like, I definitely was, like, more in love with that part than the production part. For sure. But I think it helped me in the long run because, like, even now, like, being able to be an A&R or be in the studio with the artist and, like, know what I'm looking for, like, actually, like, with Cold Cash Black with a couple of songs with Neisha, like, actually sitting there and, like, co-producing the records with him, you know what I'm saying? So in the long run, it actually helped me, like, starting off that way.
For sure. So you manage several artists, and managing one artist is like having 5 kids, I feel like. So how do you manage multiple artists? That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I actually don't realize how much work it is. I mean, I guess it's just because it's just going now.
It's your life. It's what you do every day.
I think it's, how do I handle it? It's just being able to what's priority and understanding and just sticking to that. And then I think, like, with my clients, they are like my family. So they are all cool with each other. So it kind of works out, and I think everybody kind of understands. In the beginning, I think it was a little rough because, you know what I'm saying, one part, they might feel like you're being favored to one person or another, but it's not really about favoritism, just like whatever's happened going on at that time. Like today, Brooklyn had to go down there, so that was what was important today. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, it might be Helluva got something going on tomorrow, or, you know what I'm saying? Or even if it's multiple things in the day, just like, all right, I'm going to do this when I get up. After I do that, then I'm going to pay attention to this. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, things come up during the course of the day. So sometimes things get shifted around too. So I don't know, just time, just managing my time as best as I possibly can. Everybody be like, they always just say, like, say you're late. Like, but it's always something going on. But, you know, I you know, just structuring it where I don't have to always be there. Like, so that's the good thing. Like, where I think early on in my career, I was like always there and always had to be there. But now it's like I don't have to be there for the machine to be working.
Exactly. So you manage multiple artists. Obviously, you're very busy. And I'm sure you have a lot of artists that come to you as well, wanting you to manage them, wanting your input, wanting maybe help with development and things like that. So how do you decide who to work with?
A lot of who I work with, like as far as management clients, most of them I have known in some capacity prior to me managing them. So I know them as people. So that's my most, like, if I gotta like you as a person, first and foremost, like, it's a lot of talented people, but if we don't vibe as people, like, ain't nothing I can do for you. And then after that is you being in love with whatever it is that you do.
Gotcha. So what would you say most artists should know? I feel like a lot of artists, are creators, right? So they don't understand the business aspect of it all. And then they wonder why their career isn't going anywhere. They keep maybe they're making amazing music, but it's not going anywhere. So what do you feel, or like what type of advice would you give to those artists who are just producing amazing music, but it's not going anywhere?
I mean, you just have to learn the craft, right? So like if this is what you want to do, you have to invest time into understanding what it is you're doing. So, you can't just do it and like part time and say, "Oh, I'm an artist." Like, if you want to be an artist, like you might not understand everything, but you should at least like do the research and read up on things as much as you can. I mean, now we got YouTube videos where you can learn stuff. So yeah, just invest the time into learning and perfecting everything surrounding your craft.
So not just your craft, but everything surrounding this way.
Because it's like there's a studio, and then it's a lot more work outside of the studio.
For sure.
So, you got to learn how to do that stuff outside of the studio.
Absolutely. So Detroit is kind of on the cusp. Like, it's on the brink of something great right now.
No, we're in the middle of something great. Like, it's not even on the cusp. Like,
But I feel like the whole world don't know yet. Is why I say the cusp.
But they do.
We know that.
No, the world knows. Like, they're paying attention. Like,
they don't give us credit then.
Nah, they giving us credit. Like, I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. Like, they're giving us credit. They're like, it's people flying in here. They sitting up on the computer.
Oh yeah, people are paying attention.
Watching our YouTubes. Like, they are locked in to what we're doing. So that's why I say we're like in the middle of something great. It's just now it's about creating the unity, creating the understanding. So like I started doing these consulting sessions, right? And the one thing that kind of made me want to do those things is I felt like we always had great talent here. Like from the beginning, since I started, like it's always been like talented people here. But I think the people that do what I do, we were limited on that, and people being knowledgeable of how the business works. People were limited on that. So I've been doing like these consulting sessions, and it's been really good because, like, what I'm saying, the people who have been coming and booking these sessions to learn, because it's really, that's what it is teaching, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I'm teaching people stuff, like people are taking it, and I'm happy to see them applying the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And this is knowledge I acquired. Like, I taught myself like a lot of music law. Like, I learned it myself, like, because I thought when I first started, like when I wanted to be a manager, I thought you were supposed to know music law. So I started reading all these books about music law and learning what music law and how it works.
It definitely helps. And
then when I really got into it, I realized a lot of people don't have the first clue about music law. So that's been really helpful. And then along the way, because I did teach myself a lot about music law when I started working with like actual music attorneys that would represent my clients, when they realized that I had like a certain level of knowledge, they started feeding me more knowledge, and it's kind of just been expanding ever since. Like, I'm still learning every day. Like, I learn new stuff every day from my lawyers. Like, just on the phone. So like they're my friends for real. You know what I'm saying?
So going back to what we were talking about, so Detroit's in the middle of something great, and I feel like think Atlanta had their time in Detroit. It's got Motown, but I feel like we on the whole something. We have a distinctive sound. We have, like you said, people are flying in. People are coming in. They're sitting in. They're listening. They want to know what it is that sets us apart, because there's something special outside of the talents, the hustles, the energy is just something that makes it kind of magical. So my question to you is going to be like, what do you feel, I guess, that next step is, or that next thing for us to really take it to the next level?
Just got to make hit records.
Just keep creating, essentially.
Yeah, we got to make hit records. Like, now that we have the spotlight, that's why Atlanta had a run, and still Atlanta's still having a run. Yeah. So yeah, it's just about now is like that people are paying attention. Like, we just got to make hit records, and that's what's gonna keep it. Because I don't see this letting up. I don't see it letting up no time soon. Because it's a lot of talent and a lot of people being recognized right now. A lot of people signing deals and just doing a lot of great stuff. Even in the film industry, like which I'm like very interested in. Like, I think that's probably like the next progression of learning, like the film stuff, because you look at Moolah Films and McGraw Ave, and like that's getting recognized on the national level. Or Neisha was just in the movie that Vezo produced, Price of Love. Like people are paying attention to this on a national level. So I think even from our film industry, it's gonna be the same way that people gonna start paying attention to these storytellers here on that side, and I think it's just gonna keep elevating, and you know, one of these guys might turn into the next Tyler Perry or something.
Absolutely. I think film is definitely the next progression. I think it's as far as, and I think, well, Detroit just has so many creatives as a whole outside of music, film, just art, just everything. And then the hustle and the passion behind it. There's something about the grind and the grit that Detroit people have that you don't find anywhere else. So it's kind of dope.
No, it's a unique place.
For sure. So you manage multiple artists, which we discussed, you know, can be difficult of its own, but then you add in COVID, right? So I'm sure, you know, a lot of artists make their money off of merchandise and shows and things like that. How has COVID impacted your artists or your management?
I mean, just making pivots and like adjustments to, like you say, merchandise. You don't have to be around nobody to sell merchandise. It's kind of like, you know, you making money when you're not working. You making money off that when you sleep. So that doesn't really get affected by COVID. Obviously, the shows get affected. For a while, the studio was affected because we couldn't work in the studio. But we made adjustments. Like Neisha, she built a studio at home, but it was great because she learned how to. Was learning already how to like engineer herself and all that. So she was able to take the time, because we wasn't moving around as much, to really hone in on that skill and learn that skill of recording herself. Now she's pumping out way more material, because like even now that everything's open, she rather record at home most of the time. So Helluva, like somebody like Helluva, it didn't really stop because, you know, people would still want beats. So, you know, I mean, instead of doing sessions, we just had to send beats or be on FaceTime. Or he signed to Warner Chappell. They were doing these cool things where they're having these collaboration sessions on Zoom, where producers will be on Zoom together with songwriters, and they'll literally be creating ideas on Zoom and emailing them back and forth, but they right there on Zoom with each other talking and creating songs that way. So, I mean, it just was about making adjustments for real.
So was it a lot of plans or a lot of things that you were excited about? Like, you know, everybody came into 2020 like the vision year, like it's happening. And then...
Yeah, it was a lot. Like with Brooklyn, we had a lot of stuff planned for Brooklyn as far as moving around and traveling and press, like coming into the year. So a lot of those plans got halted. Actually, the week that the lockdown happened, Neisha was supposed to go out to New York to film an interview with a platform, a show on AOL. So that, you know, that stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff. And then like Price of Love, you know, that got pushed back. Or the other movie, Turn the Cheek, a lot of that stuff got pushed back on the release. But I mean, I think that pause in time was kind of needed for everybody. So I kind of look at it for the positive versus the negative. So everybody was able to kind of readjust and reset and just look at what's important in their life, and you know, pay more attention to that.
And like you said, even get more creative for Neisha to be able to go in there and just really learn more about the engineering side of things, and then also just be in there creating is dope. I think that's been good for a lot of creatives, is just to take that time to kind of be introspective, look into themselves, and whatever comes out as far as the creation, the piece. Obviously, we talked about you having, you know, a lot of different things going on, the Detroit scene and things like that. Now, there's artists out here who don't know anything about the business side of music. They don't know anything about, really, all they know is what they do. All they know is how to create. What would you say an artist, an upcoming artist, or, you know, an aspiring artist needs to succeed? Do they need a team of certain people? I know you said before they just got to study and dig in and learn. Outside of that, how important
they do need a team. In the beginning, you don't necessarily need a manager, so to speak. But if you have your friends or whoever's around you, if they come into the studio, they shouldn't just be sitting around. They should be learning too. Like, everybody around you should be working in some capacity. Like, so, you know, you might have this friend learning how to do social media. This friend might be learning how to shoot videos. You know, the other friend might be learning what to do with merchandising. Like, everybody that's around you, you should have a team of people. So I know, starting off, everybody has supporters, but those people can't just be people that just hanging around. Like, they need to be learning something to evolve, because it's a machine. Because as an artist, you're a business. Like, you're not just the artist or this person that go in the booth and create. Like, whatever your artist name is or whatever, that's a brand. It's a business. So everybody around you should be helping build that business.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, you've had the opportunity to work with so many different people and artists and things like that. You've networked, you've, been all over the country and stuff. What are some artists or other people in the business, period, that you would like to work with in the future in some capacity? It even could be in film.
I mean, I'm always networking with other artists. Like one of my mentors, Lenny S. He manages DJ Khaled and Fabulous. I mean, I've been pretty much working with him from the beginning of my career. Like, he kind of really helped me get my start. Introduce me to people. So I'm always talking to him about different stuff. Still MC Search. Like, I just talked to Search yesterday, talking about some other opportunities coming up for my clients. I don't know, just I just go as the universe goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not really like I gotta work with this person. It's just I kind of go where the universe takes me.
So you said before that you were never really an artist. You got into production, but you kind of had like a knack for music, for just the passion, just being in your blood. Did you have any artists or anybody that you looked up to or that you were inspired by when you were younger?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
I mean, just the whole Rockefeller, that was what they...
And from a management perspective, even looking at what he built, is that something that inspired you over time?
Absolutely. And then when like I said, Lenny S is from, this was crazy, so Lenny S is from the original Rockefeller. He's with Rock Nation still. So when I actually met him, it was I was kind of in awe, because it's you grow up listening and hearing Jay-Z say this guy's name, and then it's dang, this my friend now, So, and then meeting Tata, the first time I ever met Tata at the Rock Nation office in New York, and me and him were just talking, and he's like, yo, we the same people, we come from the same place, and it's just they made it seem possible.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say moving forward into 2021, 2022, over the next year or two? What do you see on the horizon for you? Obviously, you said you're kind of expanding. You're doing consulting sessions. You're teaching. You're looking to even get into some film. What else do you see happening?
I mean, just with Handzup in general, just kind of expanding it and having other managers work under me. That's a goal of mine. I kind of started that. One of my it's a guy named Kenny Lockhart. He's actually one of the first artists that I managed in the beginning, but he's kind of transitioned over to the business side. So he's working with me, and we have he had a client that he was working with that he brought over to Handzup named Mia Simone. So he's really developing her, and then he kind of been helping me where I need him with, if Neisha needs something or Brielle needs something, kind of just helping me out in those areas. He actually was filming some behind the scenes stuff for Brooklyn today.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, just doing more of that, and then my brother works with me too. And he's been kind of by my side the whole time. So just building the company out, and building, like I said again, Violator was something that I looked at, and so just using that as a model to build the company out. The film stuff, I think that I'm learning it, so I like to learn stuff before I jump head first. But I know Neisha's getting a bunch of film looks now, because Price of Love was actually her.
She killed that role. I was like, this is a little too effortless.
That was actually her third. That was her third film that she's been in. So it's been a lot of opportunities coming her way on that side. So really, and like I said, Kevo is also a actor. So yeah, just learning that side of the entertainment business. That's gonna be a process. So that's gonna come. I don't think in the near future, but it's gonna in the future.
For sure. So let me ask you, some artists are intimidated by the business aspect of music and by the industry. When people say a lot of things about the music industry, it's cold, it's ruthless, people, bite your hand like they out to get you, just all this stuff. What do you have to say about that, or to those people who are intimidated by the industry as a whole?
All those things are true, right? They are, like I'm saying, they're true. So, but if you, again, it's all about educating yourself. So the more you know, the less a person can take advantage of you because you know what you're talking about. And if you know what you're talking about, those people look at you differently, and the conversation is gonna be different. So it's less of it. It's snake stuff that go on in just regular life. So you got to deal with it. But like I say, the energy you put out will be reciprocated back to you. So just put out good energy and do good things, and things will fall. The pieces of the puzzle will fall together for you. But you can't be intimidated by it because it is part of it's the music business. That's that's what it is. It's a business. So you do have to learn it. Or like I say, if the artist doesn't know it, at least have someone close to them that is learning it. Is gonna take the time to learn it, so you're not getting taken advantage of. And artists come to me all the time. Like even outside of the consultant stuff, there's a lot of people that I am just friends with that I have conversations with about certain stuff. Yeah, we talking. People just need to not be. You can't be intimidated by it because it's part of what we do.
What would you say is the most valuable and most important lesson you've learned over your 16, 17-year career? Something that you had to learn maybe the hard way, like
everybody not your friend.
Mm.
Some people is just business, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you can't look at everybody as your friend, and that everybody has your best interest at heart. Is you doing business with people, so just understand that. Like some people just gonna do business with them, and we not about to go hang out, or they not gonna come to my house and all that. But it's cool. We doing business, we cool, and then we go our separate ways. So you can't invest all your emotions into it.
So what advice would you give someone who, I two-part question. What advice would you give someone who is an upcoming artist, just in general, just something that you feel like they need to know? And then maybe someone who's interested in learning more about the business outside of just, digging into learning something, tangible that they can do, whatever that may be.
For upcoming artists, just record the music and put it out.
Just put it out there.
Put it out. Like
just create.
Yeah, just create, because like that is the magic. Like you ever saw Fade to Black? Jay-Z when they was in the room, everybody's having a meeting. The guy cut the music off. And Jay-Z don't cut the music off because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the music. Right? So just create to put it out to the world. Create the music, put it out to the world. You'll figure it out. Like I said, everything's not perfect. Like even the biggest artists in the world have things go wrong. So nothing's ever gonna be perfect. Like I don't care how big you are, how much money you are, nothing's gonna be perfect. So just learn on this, like learning on the fly. But just have the courage to put it out to the world, and see where it takes you.
So for the management aspect, someone wanted to get into the business side of things.
Yeah, I mean, one, learning, because it's more than the business. It's like you're dealing with people. You're dealing with people's livelihood. So just learning how to deal with people and talk to people, and the problem is going to arise. So just being a problem solver,
quick on your feet, problem solve,
and being a stabilizer for the artist, because they're gonna have a lot of stuff going on, so they're gonna come to you to fix the problem, even if you can't fix it. You know what I'm saying? At least be able to help them calm, and then all right, we'll figure out a solution.
Right. Gotcha.
A good manager will find you. You don't have to go. So they'll find you because they'll see what you're doing and they'll seek you out. So you just, like I said, you just got to create, put out in the world, and the universe will bring you everything that's supposed to come to you.
Okay, so essentially, in order to have a manager, you got to have something to manage it. Yeah, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything else that you're working on and that you want to talk about or add before we wrap up?
Brielle Leslie in the studio. We just put out her video for her record Dumbass. So that's starting to pick up. Like we're kind of doing some digital marketing stuff for that now, and she has like a slew of records coming in 2021 that we got in the vault. Neisha's working. I think she's getting to the point where she's ready to do like her first album.
Yeah, 'cause she hasn't done a whole album yet, which I find crazy, but yeah.
I mean, but we waiting on the moment, but I think she's starting to feel like that. We're starting to have records set aside that make sense for that. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna play it by ear, but I think she's getting that itch to do that. But we're gonna continue just putting out music, as it comes, just kind of feeding the fans and keep building her, with her fans, because her fans are really like engaged with her. So just keep feeding them. Helluva actually has a deal with Atlantic Records, so we're preparing his first project. It's gonna be like a kind of collab with songs that he produced. He may rap on something.
Okay.
I don't know, because people been hounding him to get him to rap again. So I mean, he's actually done a couple features. He has some stuff that he's rapped on. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If we can get him to rap on something on his project. But
all right.
Yeah, we in the middle. We probably 80% done with that. So I'm excited about that because we got some real dope songs. Because it's like we're focusing on artists from here. Because he is, he's kind of like goes hand in hand with the Detroit street sound like that. It's him. You say Detroit. Helluva. So he's really focusing. So we got a lot of like Jay Swan got a song on there. This kid named Skylar Blue got a real dope song on there. Sada got a crazy song on there. Babyface ran for 2 good. So we got some stuff in there. He did some work with Rio. Actually, he want to do another song with Rio. So got Rio. He's supposed to get in with Cash Kid. We even had a conversation with Big Sean about doing something. I reached out to Paul Rosenberg about him, but we'll see. Paul, if you see this.
Listen, that would be dope. I mean, even though he had a different sound. He had a different sound. He definitely didn't have a Detroit sound when he came out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He had a different sound.
But he did, though. Because that was the hip hop sound. When you go to the J Dillas, like this is a whole other conversation. You go to the J Dillas, Slum Village, Black Milk, Fat Cat, and all that. Like that is a sound of Detroit. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the Detroit sound that you think of when you think of Detroit sound. But
that's the sound that Europe thinks of, that Asia thinks of.
For sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because music's global, and that's the sound of Detroit that those people gravitate to, and that they're looking for. And those Black Milk can go tour overseas, like. And make a living and come back home and
I'm just saying, I think it would be a hell of a collab, so I'm all for it.
No, we're gonna try to make it happen.
That would be what's up. Okay, well, cool. So people who, maybe want to do a consultation with you and learn more, or maybe just want to follow you, how can they find you?
On my Instagram, it's Handzup Mgmt, and that's hands with a Z. So Handzup Management.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been really, really great listening to everything that you got going on, everything. You got a lot of moving pieces. It sounds like you're really proud of everything, too, and everything that the artists are working on. So super excited. It's going to be a great 2021. I can already tell there's too much going on, too many good things going on.
Thank you for having me.